Hello, everybody, and welcome to The View from the Top. My name is Brian Friedman, and I'm your host for today. And we've got a really exciting show lined up for you today. We're going to be talking about a world beyond the chatbot. We're going to be talking about real-world AI insights from some of Global Mobility's top 100 champions. And I'm so excited. We've got backstage Claire Ginocchio from Indeed, and we've also got Ken Brown from Takeda, two amazing global mobility professionals and two amazing companies, and loads of really great insights. So you know how it is, everybody. Join the conversation, write in the comments box, tell us what's going on, tell us all your news. We want to hear from you and find out exactly what is going on in your world of global mobility. We've got a great show for you today. As I said, we are live on YouTube, we are live on LinkedIn, and we're also available on Spotify. So if you want to watch it as a live cast, we're there. If you want to watch it as, if you want to listen to it as a podcast, we are also there. So it's all very exciting. Please do comment. We're having a slight problem, I've got to be honest here, with LinkedIn, that maybe not all the comments are coming through. So bear with us, and we are going to try and fix that. But we know that we're live on YouTube and we are live on LinkedIn right now. A lot of you do want CPE codes, and we fully get that. So every week we get you CPE codes. So if you want your codes from Worldwide ERC, and many thanks to everybody at Worldwide ERC, those are your codes there, your GMS and your CRP code 28239. And if you want codes from HRC, IL, SHRM, many thanks to our good friends at Rocket Mortgage, those are the codes for those. So all the codes are available. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you next week. I'm so excited. We've got no one other than Renee Pislak, who's going to be talking about how you bridge the gap between global mobility and strategic workforce planning. It's not a subject we've talked about before. In fact, I'm not sure it's a subject anybody has talked about before, but how does global mobility fit in and interact with strategic workforce planning? Fascinating subject. And that's what we've got for you next week. Meanwhile, what's been going on in the wonderful world of global mobility over the last 7 days? Well, let's find out. Let's have a look at our breaking news. And we've got loads of people in the audience watching. Something's gone wrong with LinkedIn, I tell you, whereby some of your comments aren't coming through. But I want to give a shout out to some of the fantastic people in our audience. We've got Ebony Thompson. Hi from Michigan, she says. Karen Hale from Indeed. Looking forward to this episode. Claire is a star at innovation. Well, we're going to meet Claire in just a few moments. We've got Manfred Kitchen from Berlin. We've got Laurie in the show. We've got Lisa from Frozen Germany. I think it's frozen everywhere. I know Ken is in Boston. He told me he's got 2 feet of snow out there. We've got Jagit there. We've got Clay. We've got Melissa, Marife. We've got Dana. People coming in from all over the world. And it is so great to see you. We're going to move on now from our breaking news to talk about immigration. And I'm so excited that our regular guest, Julia Onslow-Cole, is once again with us. And she's going to be giving us an update on a really, really important subject. So you know how it works, and I don't know whether LinkedIn knows how it works, but hit the heart button, hit the like button, hit the applause button, and welcome to our stage, Julia Onslow-Cole. Julia, hi, how are you doing? Hi. I fooled you that you're on mute, I'm afraid, Julia.
I thought you normally turn me off.
No, I normally run a video and nothing seems to be working quite right today.
Okay.
But we are here and we are having fun. So Julia, so
yes,
you're in your London office at Fragment today, and I know you've been traveling backwards and forwards to the Middle East.
Yes.
So what's our agenda for today?
I just wanted to speak for 3 minutes about the issue of dependence, because we had a board meeting at the Permits Foundation this week, and it's very troubling if you look around the world what's happening to the issue of dependence. Permits have been very active in this area for a number of years, and working so hard with all of our wonderful sponsors, trying to make a difference with advocacy, which they have successfully done in so many countries. But many countries, yes, a huge shout out to all of them. But what we're seeing is a big geopolitical pullback. So just quickly, I just wanted to mention a number of countries. So in the US, from October the 30th, the automatic extension of employment authorization for multiple categories, including for spouses of H4 visas, on H4 visas, was removed. And this was, as we know, sort of much part of a wider package in the US. But the last time, I don't know if you remember this, Brian, but a couple of years ago, there was a big issue in the processing time of these EADs, and a lot of dependents, if you recall, they were not able to work, and they were not even able to continue driving because the applications for renewal was so slow. I'm sure that was the case, yeah. But I think that, the applications were so slow. And so we at Permits made strong representations, as did lots of other people. What they have said, what the government did in response, the US government, is they said you can have like an automatic extension while your application is progressing. And this was really, really helpful, but that's taken down. And so, we have made representations on behalf of Permits, and, that to say that this was so helpful, and can we please revert to that situation? So that's the situation in the US, which is quite worrying. In Ireland, there has been some very welcome developments where they have actually broadened the numbers of dependents, including in one category, children between 16 and 18 who have automatic work rights. But there's great challenges in Ireland around the timelines, and some of these timelines are up to a year, which is really poor. So again, Fragment and lots of other people, Deloitte, are helping Permits. In fact, it's wonderful how many different immigration firms are really actively cooperating together and helping Permits on these burning issues, and begging the government to sort of take these timelines down and to extend those rights to other categories. And then quickly, just to say, there's 2 open consultations, one in South Africa. South Africa did indicate in a white paper that it was looking at this issue, but there's an open consultation which Permits contributing to. And again, many wonderful immigration consultants in South Africa are helping with that. And also in the UK, there's a consultation opened about earned settlement. So it's moving away from this automatic settlement after 5 years in many categories to something that's earned, and that produces a lot of uncertainty for dependents because they have lots of breaks in their employment, and they might not be able to earn settlement so quickly. And so they're very concerned. So there's another open consultation, which everybody should respond to in the UK who have employees in the UK, not just about the issue of dependence, but just generally, and put their views in. And finally, I want to say the website has been so much time has been spent on it, on permits. And I think Siobhan is saying, do check out the link, but it is really, really helpful tool for global mobility professionals, and lots of useful information about dependence. And permits are looking very closely at APAC, India, the Middle East, but they very much welcome any feedback. So Brian, thank you very much for the chance to talk about that.
Not at all. I want to give a big shout out to everybody at Permits Foundation. I mean, Julia, you're very, very closely involved. I see that Siobhan Cummins is
Yes.
in the audience. I know she's been with you on that journey for whatever it is, 25 years or so, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I know also that Helen Fruzon is in the audience too.
Lovely.
So shout out to Helen. And she points out that there is a world map which shows exactly where everybody's working, on what the picture is. So you guys at Permits Foundation, kudos to you. Fantastic organisation, a lot going on.
Lovely. Thank you, Brian.
We're going to move on. Everybody, please do carry on commenting on LinkedIn. Our technical problem with LinkedIn is that the comments that you make are only appearing on LinkedIn and we can't pull them on screen, but Tally is working behind the scenes to take some of those comments and bring them up, and I'm monitoring them and will name check you for your comments. So please do engage with us on that. We're going to move on now to talk about some really interesting mobility updates. So we're going to welcome to our stage Meredith Morris. So everybody, you know how it works. Hit the heart button, hit the like button, hit the applause button, and let's say a big, big thank you to Julie Onslow Cole, and welcome to our stage, Meredith Morris. Hey, Meredith.
Hey, Brian.
I saw you dancing along with the music back off stage.
I was.
You were getting into it.
I was totally all about it. Yes.
You always bring joy to the screen when you come. So tell us, Meredith, I know that you're going to be talking about the World Cup, I think, and some other things. So tell us a bit about what's going on.
I am. So hi, everyone out there. Sorry, we can't see your comments, but I'm glad you're here. Yeah. So today I really wanted to talk about, what's kind of happening and why this is impactful. So we're talking about the World Cup, and some of you know out there, and maybe some of you don't, I'm actually based in Houston, Texas. And, it's really exciting that our city is hosting this event, but events like this, which are huge, can impact, mobility. So that's what we're talking about today.
Absolutely. I remember I'm based in London. I remember when the Olympics came in, whenever it was, 2012. And London obviously is a much bigger city with much more accommodation than say Houston. So but when the circus comes to town, it does have a knock-on effect for mobility. Tell us about it. It
has a huge knock-on effect. So here we have this incredible 39-day global event with these, incredible individuals from around the world that'll be converging into Houston. So they're anticipating close to about 500,000 visitors coming into our city, which is incredible, right? It's amazing. There's a great competition going on. This is, a world-renowned event. But what does that mean? That means that we're going to have a shortage of housing during that time frame, because this is going on from June to July. And what else is that? That's peak relocation season for, many companies. And what else? Peak intern season. So what we're talking about today is really the impact on the housing, because Brian, you and I were, discussing that a little bit, and to really, put it out there, what we're looking at, just like on hotel rates, because they use a booking system, hotel rates are anticipated to increase anywhere from 400 to 800% over what they would normally be in our city. That's huge. So if you're not planning in advance or have pre-negotiated, agreements where you can book these units prior to them, housing prior to it being yoked, it impacts that pricing. But it's the same with corporate housing. And that's become even a little more challenging because even in corporate housing, rates will be inflated to book those units. And they're saying somewhere about $1,000 US dollars a day for, hotels.
Prices are already beginning to move.
All of it. Yes.
But prices are already beginning to move.
They're already beginning to move. So if any organizations are looking at that population and when to bring people in or, how to execute that, it becomes very necessary that they're having these conversations well in advance, with their providers, with their relocation management company. And so like for us, like Benivo, we provide those services. We do provide relocation services, and we're communicating these different events that are taking place so that we can anticipate for that and helping them overcome that. So let's take, for example, even booking for, interns. These are typically done a lot of times 9 months in advance, not like 3 months in advance. So units are booked well in advance. Providers are able to anticipate that. The pricing then is obviously leveraged from 9 months ago because those leases have been secured. And so you're not paying these inflated rates. So those are the types of things. It's really about being strategic and proactive when we're talking about that. Same with your hotel rates, same with even expats coming in and what that experience will look like. Because if you wait till the last minute, your cost increase, you may end up putting, your employees somewhere that's probably an hour plus commute. So, and that's not just one event. That could be any event around the world. Like you talked about the Olympics. Again, another amazing event, but impacts, what happens within these organizations and, the housing that they're able to receive and the pricing that they're paying. So it's all about communication, having good supplier relationships, which I feel like we have some amazing supplier relationships that support, our companies out there and their employees. Yeah.
So the message is that if you've got people moving into a city which is hosting, and I know there's lots of cities that are hosting these events for the World Cup throughout the US and also I believe Canada and Mexico. So if you've got people moving into one of these cities, then plan ahead because rates are only going to rise.
Rates are only going to rise.
Even if they rise, there may be no availability as well.
Well, exactly. And then here in the US, just to impact it even further, there's been a lot of regulations around, short-term type housing, which is typically what's utilized until someone can find their long-term solution. So as that interim gap so that they have that place to settle into. And, cities like New York, Chicago, San Francisco, it's increasing the cost. And, even a lot of traditional type, flats or apartment communities that are managed by like a larger umbrella, they're putting in stricter regulations as well, which is impacting the cost of housing to companies. So yes, so planning, communication, strategic alliances, that all plays into that whole experience.
Let's change the subject a bit, Meredith. We've been talking about the World Cup, but also the show now is going to go on to talk about AI. And I know Benivo has been doing a lot of work around mobility intelligence, MI. Tell us a bit about that and what's going on there.
Yeah, thank you for asking that question. And so, it's interesting about AI, and I was listening to a lot of the conversations that were happening. So, for us, even myself, right, I'm embracing AI and I have been, but now I'm like fast tracked on that path. I love it. But Benivo has built a suite of mobility intelligent agents that are specific, to our clients, and our clients and our change makers. The ideas come from them. They're building mobility of the future, but these mobility intelligent agents are specific to areas such as immigration or getting cost estimates. Let's talk about that. Like our cost estimator, where I could go in there and within like 30 to 60 seconds, I can get a price for a household goods move 40-foot container going from point A to point B, at least as an estimate. So, and even tax optimization. So we have multiple different agents that are working for, our clients that are using our platform and supporting them to get answers much, much quicker. So now they can get information, say like a specific project, and they're looking for an immigration timeline of when they would be able to get, a certain level of expat from point A to point B into certain countries. And what does that timeline look like? They can get that now within 60 seconds instead of waiting. And they can even find out exactly the paperwork that they need. So these are the types of AI agents that now are bringing information so much quicker than may have taken hours or days for someone to get from, another area.
Yeah. And I know that there's a report that we've released at Benevo about using prompts, and we're going to be talking about that a lot with Claire and Ken in a moment, and Tally will share that link so we can see it. But there is an amazing report that's available free of charge. You just go onto the Benevo website and download it, and it takes all the thoughts from some of our top 100 champions, and it gives you real examples of prompts you can use. So that's it there. It's the AI Champions Mandate, and that's the long description to get it. But I'm sure if you just go on the Benevo website, the homepage, you'll find a link to it pretty quickly. Meredith, we're going to love you and leave you at this point. We're going to move on the conversation. I know you'll be back in a couple of weeks. I know there's a load more to talk about. It's great having you on the show. Really, really enjoy it. We're going to be moving on now to be talking about AI and life beyond the chatbot and some of the things some of the most forward-thinking professionals in the world are doing. And I said, I'm so excited. We've got Claire Ginocchio and Ken Brown from Indeed and Takeda, respectively. So you know how it works. Hit the heart button, hit the like button, hit the applause button, and let's welcome them to our stage. Welcome to the show. It's so great to have you both on. So I said in the introduction, you guys are both passionate about AI and you're with some amazing companies, programs. But let's just start off finding a bit about you both. Claire, ladies first, let's start with you. Tell us a bit about yourself, your journey into mobility and about mobility at Indeed.
Yes. So I've been with Indeed 10 years and I've been in global mobility for the past 8 years. And so, I kind of started my career really at Indeed on the talent acquisition side in recruiting and recruiting coordination and then internal mobility recruiting, which gave me such great exposure to our global mobility team at Indeed. And so I made that shift over to global mobility about 8 years ago and was lucky enough to be part of global mobility at Indeed during one of our highest growth times in the company's history. So I got to manage global expat assignments and hundreds of relocations all over the globe and within the US. But of course, things never stay the same. And so when the pandemic hit us, it really drastically transformed my role and the way we work at Indeed. And so over 50% of our employee population is now remote. And so a large portion of my time now is not only spent managing our relocation program, but what we call our flex work programs at Indeed. And what that means is remote working, where people can work from, employee-initiated relocations, our work from anywhere program, which we call temporary remote. It permits our employees to work 6 weeks from anywhere, in the world with restrictions. We are heavy on compliance. So, but my team manages those programs as well. And so yeah, it's been really exciting to go through all these changes, and especially now with AI. I mean, I think this is probably one of the most exciting for me. You know, it's not a global pandemic. We have the excitement of moving into this new realm of like technology and seeing how it can help us and improve our lives and our work. So yeah, thank you so much.
Get into that. I can hear the passion coming through, but I'm pretty sure most people will know what Indeed does, but just for anybody that doesn't, give us an idea of Indeed in terms of, you know, what the things the company does and the size and span of its operations.
Oh yeah, we help people get jobs, of course.
I think most people will know it. But.
Yes, that's our slogan, and it's true. We are one of the world's largest job search websites. So yeah, if you're looking for a job, go to Indeed.com. We have about 10,000 people, employees globally. We have a high presence in the United States, Canada, Brazil, Japan, Ireland, UK, Spain, Italy, Belgium. So yeah, we're all over the place. And
your role, I was saying to you, we were chatting earlier that, you know, I used to ask the question, how many people do you move each year? But I think with your role, I'll change the question. How many lives do you touch each year?
Yeah, so that was like, I really liked that you asked that, because quite a few, I would say at least 4,000 a year through our various programs. So yes.
Okay. So let me then turn my focus to you, Ken. So welcome to the show, Ken. Great to have you. And you're in, I believe, in snowy Boston.
That's correct, Brian. It's nice. It's 9 degrees outside, 2 feet of snow here in Boston, Massachusetts, in the U.S. And it's just, you know, it's January. So what can we expect?
Okay. And you work for a Japanese pharma company, Takeda, which I think is one of those companies that probably saves, you know, hundreds of thousands of lives each year with their treatments, but isn't necessarily that well known to everybody. So tell us a bit about what Takeda does and about mobility at Takeda.
Absolutely. So Takeda is a 244-year-old company.
Wow, I hadn't realized 244. So that's doing my maths. That's when we were founded. And I'm sorry, I can't do my maths quickly enough, but yeah, we're in the 1800s.
So we're going back to earlier, 17.
Earlier, 17.
Yeah, wow. So Takeda, it was founded by Takeda, the original founder, and he was making herbal supplements and medicines. And 244 years later, we are still making supplements and medicines and therapies to support patients around the world. Our largest industries are, you know, gastroenterology, I say that word wrong every time, neuroscience, rare diseases, oncology. So we are in very different, many different pharmaceutical areas, but really, like you said, we are treating people globally, and a long-standing company, very well known in Japan, and we're expanding around the world in the last.
I'm trying to get my head around that. So you're only 6 years younger than the United States.
Yeah, this is. Yes, you're right. I didn't think of it that way, but yes, it is 6 years younger than the United States.
Wow.
Correct. Yep.
Wow. Yeah. That's just extraordinary. So Ken, tell us about, you know, how many lives you touch in mobility, and what are your main routes?
Sure thing. So it wouldn't be surprising, but Japan is a very key location for us. Yeah. About 5 years ago, Takeda made a large acquisition in the United States, and now Boston, Massachusetts, and surrounding areas of Massachusetts are a large population for us. And then in Europe, Zurich is also a large destination. So really, those three are our countries, and those three locations are our regional heads. And we service people we have people in over 80 countries, about 60 countries I touch and my team touches, and making sure that we're getting people moved, getting them on assignments, getting their immigration set up. Claire's program is we're more of a traditional program, I'd say, than Claire's program. Our heaviest population is one-way moves. And again, those three locations are our hottest spots right now.
Yeah, I mean, you're very, very different industries. I mean, you've got tech and pharma, but yet you both embrace AI, and that's what we're here to talk about today. And I want to really get into that, because one of the things that I know, there was a McKinsey study a while ago that said it was something like 74% of CEOs said that they are actually making sure that their executives are embracing AI. But actually, when you look at it function by function, the function that actually came out the worst was HR, where only 14% were embracing AI. So my question to you is, I'm guessing you've both got CEOs and C-suites that are very passionate about AI. Tell us a bit about how the passion for AI is getting embedded in the whole culture. I'll start with you, Claire, because obviously Indeed being a tech company, I'd expect you to be at the forefront of AI automatically. But tell us a bit about how AI is permeating the whole organization.
Yeah, it's such an interesting question, because, as you know, the way we worked 2 years ago, even 1 year ago, is completely different. And we're definitely getting that direction from our leaders, is that we must embrace AI. We're at a tech company, and really, if we don't embrace AI, if we don't start getting used to doing our work differently, if we're not learning how to use these tools, we are truly going to get left behind. But I think once you get your feet wet, it is really such an exciting thing to be a part of, because, when I started my career, I remember filing actual physical papers and files, and there were people whose entire jobs was just putting file folders on shelves, and look at where we are now. So it's like the way we do things now doesn't have to be the way we do things in the future. And I definitely, we feel that pressure. I don't think any of us were given any direction beyond now we're using AI. So I think it's taken a lot of experimentation and slowly getting our feet wet, maybe starting with something really low stakes that's fun for the team to do, and to fully automating workflows and using it in decision making and providing data insights. And so knowing where we are now, I'm only excited, so much more excited to where we'll be in another year of experience using these new tools.
Yeah, and Ken, tell us a bit about the AI philosophy at a corporate level at Takeda.
For Takeda, AI is the top initiative one of our top initiatives right now. It is spoken about at all times. We are pharmaceutical, and there's a lot of data, a lot of complicated science, clinical studies, a lot of information out there. And our goal is to get our products out to our patients and to serve them as fast as we can, as well as we can. AI is a tool, a generator of getting information out there, getting analyzed faster, getting stuff to our patients, personalizing things. So from a corporate standpoint, this is where the pharmaceutical world is going. We need to be able to analyze data as fast as possible. On the HR side, we were given the initiative right alongside on the corporate side. There was no delineation. It was go do. We were happy in mobility to say, you know what, we finished. We sit in that box as well. We have a lot of data, we have a lot of personalization, and we have a lot of ambiguity. So we'd like to go first. So we raised our hand. We started getting involved early.
Good for you, right? So you guys sort of led the charge.
We led the charge. We wanted to be one of the first HR groups to actually put our foot forward. We created one of the first bots for the HR side for people to engage with us. As Claire said, trial and error. It was a lot of error and a lot of learning, but each time it was making leaps forward. So going back 2 years, 2 years was a whole different world. And just from last year, of all the mistakes we made and all the stuff we learned along the way, it was a fascinating experience to get to where we are now and where we're trying to get to going forward.
So let's look at, I think both Claire and you, Ken, have sort of, when you first put your toes in the water of AI, you started around the sort of the employee experience side. So tell us, Ken, about some things that you've been doing at Takeda on the employee experience side of using AI to enhance the experience?
Sure. At first, we did step in as we started with FAQs and chatbots, and we said, okay, make our policies more engageable for the employees, and that was our first step. And now that's been working well, and we want to move forward. The next step now is making sure that we are actually giving the employees better data and more information at their fingertips, how they want to use it, and not necessarily having to just be read an FAQ. So right now we're working with onboarding people where they can engage back and forth with a digital Ken. There's my avatar out there that is going to be answering.
Oh, hang on. I want to get. Okay, so this avatar is actually Ken Brown.
It's actually Ken Brown.
It looks and sounds like you.
It looks and sounds like me. They will engage with me, ask me questions. I'll explain to them what it means to go into their new location, what to expect, how to settle in, and what to go through. So yes, they're going to get to know me very well. I'll hopefully a lot more friends in the company with this, and a lot more interaction with the company. But yes, it's a real digital Ken that will be onboarding.
You've achieved immortality, Ken.
How many languages does digital Ken speak?
Luckily, digital Ken translates into many languages because I myself cannot translate into many languages.
That is so cool. I should say that one of the things that we've developed at Benivo is a digital human. We haven't called it Ken. It can be called whatever you want. But it actually, as you say, it allows you to interact and ask questions in real time with the policy. And if you wanted to speak in a different language, you just say, well, actually, can you repeat that to me, that answer in Japanese or Spanish or French or what have you. But it is amazing that you can ask it questions. So, for example, you could say, I don't know, am I eligible for a 2-week extension for my housing because I'm moving from the US to Amsterdam? Or does the policy cover pet transportation? You can ask questions of the avatar. And what we found, and I'd be interested in your views, Ken, is that the number of questions that are coming beyond the avatar actually to the real Ken has gone down dramatically, because actually digital Ken, the avatar, is siphoning out huge amounts of work. Is that been your experience, Ken?
It's right there. What we want. It's right there. It's because we want to make sure that the employee gets their answers at the right time, at the right place. It's not designed to answer everything. It never will. But at least we can get those first level questions, second level questions to the employee's hands, so that when they come to us, they've already synthesized some information. They actually have some understanding of where they're going, and that the questions they're asking are now more pointed questions, now something that we can really dive into with them and give them a really strong feeling, because they've already got the baseline information and the second level information that we don't need to answer that question, which we get consented continuously. Each country has their different onboarding process. So we took that information, we got it into a digital format, and now again, we can kind of get into the employee's hands so that when they are coming to us, actual Ken, they can actually start getting more pointed.
It's so great. I'll bring Claire into the conversation, but just to finish up on this. So the other thing is timing. So if I'm on a move and I've got a burning question which has come up over the dinner table at Thanksgiving, and it's 3 p.m. or something, I desperately want to know the answer. I know I'm never going to get real Ken because he's going to be with his family. But digital Ken will be available and will answer my question at whatever silly, inconvenient time I want to ask it. Claire, tell us about what you're doing for employee experience at Indeed.
Well, we don't have a digital version of me yet. And I do think that's pretty brave to be the face of all of mobility as digital Ken. So
well, Christian actually has commented that it's like Princess Leia's hologram. So, although having said that, I suspect there will be all sorts of legal rights if you start taking something from Star Wars or something. But more seriously, you can make the avatar whatever you want, and you can vary it obviously for your audience as well in terms of nationality or ethnicity, whatever you want. So and language, of course, as we talked about. But so Claire, tell us a bit about what you guys are doing at Indeed.
Yeah, well, sans the digital version of me, we are like shifting our policies, resources, processes all over to a platform where employees will also be able to interact with us in more of a chatbot way, so they can ask questions, get real-time answers, and kind of lessen that work for my team. I think it's been an exercise of like letting go, because I'll be honest with you, we had some very beautiful resources on our like internal wiki pages that were organized very nice for user experience. But the reality is of the way the world is moving is that isn't the experience people want to have. Even us, like administratively, like I want to find an answer quickly. I don't want to read through an entire document. I want to ask the question and I want to get a thorough answer. And so we're trying to build that experience for employees so they can interact with, our team to get answers about our policies and programs in that way. And then on the flip side as well, we're trying to also recreate that process internally for my team so they can also get answers quickly. Like if they need to know how to do something, maybe they've forgotten a piece of the process in managing an expat assignment, or have a question about our tax policy, they can also access our resources and get answers quickly through like a chatbot way. So they're, mirroring the experience of the employees on both ends. So we, can do it for our own team. So we can really like empower ourselves to be quick on our feet with answers, experts in our realm, and then also get that information to our employees quickly too.
Yeah, I mean, I've got various tests that I use to question whether something, whether experience could be enhanced or something could be automated. And one question, I'll throw this out to the audience as well, is that if you're sending your transferees, assignees, relocatees, call them what you want, if you're sending them a PDF, which they've got to read, or a Word document that they've got to read, or even a website that they've got to look at, then you're doing something that AI could do better. Because you should be sending them something where they can just ask the question and query the data. Because if you don't do it, the chances are that what people will do is they'll just download your PDF and put it into, if they're smart, they'll put it into an AI agent and work it out themselves. But we should be ahead of that, and certainly some of the MIs that we've got at Beneva do that. And I know that that's the sort of stuff that you're working on, Claire, and you're working on Ken, about enhancing the employee experience. What's the reaction been from the employees? Have they found this something that has enhanced their experience, the ability to, use chatbots or digital Kens or whatever? Claire, Ken, what's been your view on what has the employee reaction been?
So I definitely think it is the preferred method because people really just want to get information and answers quickly. I think like where the focus is for me and my team is, I mentioned this earlier, but we've all had the experience of yelling into a phone for a human when we don't have that answer we want, or when something isn't going as expected. So just making sure we have access to our tools and we're available and ready for those human interactions to provide that higher touch when it's actually needed. But when it comes to those everyday answers of like getting information, like really just having that information available where they can interact with like a chatbot in a conversational way and get that information quickly, that is definitely the preferred experience. And I'm always trying to put myself in the shoes of the employee or the transferee. And that is the way we are moving, is how can we get that information quickly? How do I not have to see all the stuff I don't need? I just want the answers to what I'm asking. So.
And what are you finding, Ken, in terms of the employee reaction to the sort of stuff you're rolling out?
Same as Claire. They want the answer now. They don't want to have to search a document to read it. They don't want to look through a PowerPoint to find the one line on slide 15 that applies to them. And it's one of those pieces that we've all become so accustomed to creating mass amounts of data in mobility, and we've always had mass amounts of data and long processes and long policies, that we became so accustomed to having it that we thought it was normal. But now we realize, if you look at the rest of the world and everything around us, everything is bite-sized, everything is faster, everything is self-service. So if we're not joining in, then we are falling behind. So we've seen the same results, that people are asking the question they want, getting an answer to it. Now, again, maybe that there's more questions they have later on, which is great. But if they don't care right now, then we don't want to bog them down with a 30-page policy right now. They can ask the question now. When they come back later on, they want more information, they can dive into it further and further. It's no longer here, go synthesize all this information at once, and that's what you get. Now they can take it in bite sizes when they care, what they want to know when, and then as they go dig into it a little bit further, come to us then, and we can have a better conversation.
So let me turn it around the other way then. I mean, we're talking about what can be automated in terms of the employee experience angle. What can't be automated? What should still be human? What shouldn't be, what shouldn't be automated? Claire, do you want to come in on that? What should remain human?
Well, I definitely think when there's complex scenarios, or, if something goes wrong, there's an escalation, or something doesn't happen as expected, it does require a human voice and a human touch to be there. That is one thing I feel like people really don't like, and it makes them feel devalued if, especially in mobility, things are so personal. People are going through these very important transitions in their lives. So if something doesn't go as expected, I think it's really required to have a human voice there to help them through for that problem solving. But, if it's like, how do I access my benefits, or like, how do I submit this expense reimbursement? I think, it's fine for them to be able to find that information quickly through a chatbot.
And Ken, what's been your experience? What should be human?
My belief is, and we're trying to make sure this comes out in the bots and in the interactions. If they're asking the same question a second, third time, it's not working. And to Claire's point, that's where now we need to be involved. That's now an escalation. That's now it's personalized, and we're not getting to it's not becoming clear to the employee. Could be a language, it could be a terminology issue, but whatever it is at that point now, if it's not coming clear in 2 or 3 questions, 2 or 3 interactions, we should be involved. We need to engage with the person, make sure that they're comfortable and that they're understanding what they're asking, and that we are truly engaging with them. Every move is personal. We can have the best policies and the best processes in place. We can't answer every question. So that's where, once we get specific, now we want to be engaged with a human being and a person, and give them the time and the courtesy that we'd expect to, and the empathy to try and work through the harder questions, the next level questions, the truly personal, which you couldn't find on a website, you couldn't find in a policy doc. Give them the time to go through that with us.
Yeah, I mean, the analogy I like to use is that we're all so busy in our work lives. It's like we're juggling all these balls in the air. And how do you keep juggling all those balls? And the answer is simple. Put some of them down. And the ones you want to put down are the ones that are the easy, soft, fluffy ones, not the ones that are burning that need to be dealt with, immediately. And the beauty of technology is it allows you to create a hierarchy. So you can actually take I'm mixing my metaphors here, but the easy balls, you can take some of those and put them down and get technology to serve them. So you yourself are concentrating on the ones that are difficult, that need special attention. And I think that gives us more career satisfaction as well, because we're dealing with the human cases. Maybe there's something difficult about the situation or sensitive, and we can do what we as humans can do best. But at the same time, we're enhancing the experience for say 80-90% of our employees, where the cases are actually pretty straightforward and can be dealt with by technology. So I mean, I did actually ask the question during the week on LinkedIn. I said, how advanced is your AI use in global mobility? And I gave people 4 choices. I said, exploring the basics, using chatbots, advanced AI in workflows, and AI embedded in strategy. And we were discussing this earlier. I think in some ways, we're all doing all of it. I mean, people are at different places in the spectrum, but even people who've got AI in the workforce and it's embedded in the strategy are still at the same time exploring the basics, because the basics are changing, so much. I mean, just a few months ago, everybody was saying, oh, well, use ChatGPT, and now people are moving on, and actually it's, all other competitors are coming in, the world is changing, and the technology is moving so far. Claire, how do you keep up with all the changes in technology when you're looking at new ways of doing things?
I don't know if I am keeping up, to be honest.
I think everyone's got a sort of, a nervousness about every time we adopt something, we think, is this the greatest new thing, or is the greatest new thing, the next one around the corner?
I think it's just an ongoing, openness to change and curiosity in what can be done and the tools that we have available. I do know leading up to this, I was like looking through Indeed to see, just a list of all the AI tools that we had available to us. Cause I could think of, 5 that I'm actively using off the top of my head. But when I looked at that list, I was like, I don't even know what like 20 of these things are, let alone be able to like list all the different tools that, are available just to us, let alone what is out there in the world. So I think in terms of like, how do I keep up with it? I mean, I think it's just be open day to day, be open to change. Don't get too locked into any certain way of doing something, because, the technology is changing so fast that there could be a better way to do it that I don't know about yet. So always being open and curious about what's out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's changing so much. I mean, one of our guests last week was talking about creating podcasts for their questions for if you're going to a new destination. I think a lot of what they did was with Notebook LM. I mean, people are using so many different platforms at the moment. What about you, Ken? How are you guys keeping up? Do you have somebody internally who is guiding you on AI?
Funny enough, just this morning, I was on a training for AI, and we have, like Claire said, we have many different agents, and you can go to each agent and get more information. Starting this week, we can now start a discussion with one agent and converse with the other agent within that same dialogue. So now we're starting to combine our agents and bring the data and bring the advanced analysis into there. That couldn't be done just a few weeks ago, months ago. So it's changing daily. You have to laugh, because once you think you figure it out, it's going to change right in front of you. Takeda, Takeda, as I said, we're very AI forward. We had a 24-hour, our digital dexterity day was back in October, and it was 24 hours of trainings, and it was just, you could attend what you could attend during your time zones. Everything was recorded, and it was just different forums to join in, and from beginners to advanced, different ways to learn. We do have an AI platform, and they're actively promoting when changes come out. Again, today's was an exciting one because I had no clue that we could have different agents that could talk to each other, because I was just so used to going to one agent, working on something, leaving that agent, go to the next agent. And now this is a whole new toy for me to play with later on to try and see how it can work.
It's great when you get one agent to check the other as well. I always find
that's actually one of the things they were talking about, was saying that, yep, red team, blue team, making sure that we are truly analyzing the data and thinking through, is this correct? Is this the best use of the data?
Yeah. And we've looked at it from the employee experience side. Maybe we should flip it and look at it from the management side. What are the workflow tools that you're looking at doing?
So my team uses Asana, which is a project management tool. But you can build out workflows with AI through the platform, and we use it very heavily. So we have our team meetings in it. We track like all of our relocation actions when we're managing transferees. Any special projects we're working on go through it. And so what it allows us to do is provide real-time data insights into all these like various projects. But from a management standpoint, I had to have an AI chatbot access like within the app, and I can ask it, what did I do like last week? What were like the top like initiatives I worked on? I can ask what each member of my team worked on over the last quarter when I'm thinking about like their performance. I can get insights into like common themes that are happening in different meetings. So you can really like pull that information together very nicely, like through that tool. I use a lot of different things. Notebook LM is huge for me and my team. My team uses it very frequently for creating content and showcasing data and metrics from our different various programs. I honestly use it just to put our different like contracts with our partners in there, so I can ask questions. I don't have to like read through the entire document. I can like interact like in a chat way with it for specific content too. So, that's just like a couple examples.
Yeah, there's so much there. Certainly, I'm just going to give a plug to the Benevo MIs as well. I know I've mentioned it earlier, but think of it like the App Store, that you can download lots of different MIs to do different things, and we're adding new ones every day. But some of the ones that are out there in terms of workflow, there's things like immigration estimates, so you can estimate, what is the best way of managing a particular visa status or immigration? What are the likely costs to be involved? What's the likely time to be? Service costs. So, if you're doing a move from whatever, Amsterdam to Houston, what are the likely shipping costs going to be? There's any number of them that you can use to analyze out your workflows. We talked about earlier about cost estimates that can be done. We are just at the complete start of this. Ken, we're getting towards the end of our hour, but maybe just as we finish up, what tips? I think you guys are very much pioneers. You're leading the charge on AI, and kudos to you. What tips would you give to people who maybe are not quite so far down the road in terms of what might be a good way of getting into using AI more, and why they should in their role?
You don't know. You're probably afraid of it. I'll start right now. If you're not using it, you're probably afraid of it, and that's natural, and that's just human nature. Anything new is scary. Once you start playing with it, you'll realize there is no right or wrong answer. It will guide you. It will tell you. My case example was, start with something simple. Do you write emails poorly? Do you spend too much time trying to analyze, right? Use an AI bot to help you write an email. Try and change the mood of it. Are you trying to be more forceful? Are you trying to be, more conciliatory? So just try and start with something that you do on a daily basis. If you're email heavy, trying to help your emails. Before you're not going to be able to solve all your mobility problems until you start playing with it and realizing what it can do. It can do a lot more than you expect, but just start using it. Don't be afraid to mess up. Don't be afraid that you're not going to know everything. As I just said, I learned something new this morning that I didn't know, and it was funny that the meeting was some of the largest users of AI in the company, and most of them didn't know about this capability. So we're all learning on a day-to-day basis. There is no right or wrong answer. If you're not using it, that's the wrong answer. Start using it, start trying, start making mistakes, and just learn each time.
And we are out of time. I can't believe we actually got this far. We haven't even mentioned agentic AI and the fact that you can use AI that will actually go one stage further and do the booking for you or do events. Well, I'm sure we'll come back on another show. Meanwhile, I'm going to bring back onto stage. Julia's had to leave us, but I'm going to bring back Meredith and our amazing producer, Tally, who's been coping with the failings of LinkedIn today and what's been going on. But Anyway,
yes, and anyone who missed the comments, I mean, I hope you did read it in LinkedIn, because we had Christian was going there with his show.
Yeah, Christian.
Terabot. Hi to Terabot. And so we had really cool comments, and sorry that we couldn't bring them to the screen today.
We will be back next week, and where we'll be talking about the very interesting subject of strategic workforce planning. And Renee, who will be with us, works in strategic workforce planning, and we're going to be talking about what that is and also how global mobility can and should interact. So completely different subject. It'll be a fascinating conversation next week. All that remains is for me to say thank you to our amazing guests, and especially thank you to our even more amazing audience. We love you all. Have a great, great week, and we'll see you again this time next week. Take care, everybody. Bye.